Hey guys, 3 tickers for Monday. The timely ticker is BMNR. I'm not going to keep your attention here. The other two are Ethereum. Ethereum U is the ETF I'm going to be talking about, and also Tesla. So, Trump just signed this executive order that allows you to put Bitcoin in your 401k, right? And as a result, all these crypto related tickers are going nutty. And BMNR is the Tom Lee play. He's talking about it on this podcast yesterday. It's not just a Peter Thiel play, although Thiel does have a 9% stake through Founders Fund, and the move has been absolutely ridiculous. This day alone was over 20%. This Ethereum treasury has over 800,000 ETH, so it's worth over 3 billion almost. So it's basically the number one Ethereum treasury, and it's leading all of these little tiny, there was a Dogecoin treasury, microcap, all these other treasuries are coming out following BMNR's footsteps. So this is the head of the snake. The lockup period is set to expire in December, but it's only August, so I wouldn't worry about that. Make sure you check your portfolio before December if you hop in this thing. And they have a lot of press as well, like, if you've heard of Market Beat, kind of like a think Barron's situation, but more online than Barron's, like online first. It's a small cap to watch. Congressional filings are showing some buying and selling. People were worried, obviously, about Peter Thiel selling his stake. But look, here it is right here live on CNBC yesterday. Thomas Lee, Fundstrat, discusses BitMine emerging technologies. So it's BMNR. And if you're not familiar with Tom Lee, he's kind of like the Jim Cramer, or he really is like the Peter Thiel of hedge funds. Peter Thiel is seen more as a venture capital guy. But the point is, Tom Lee is looking at an early stage IPO company, BMNR, and Peter Thiel is in it as well. So those two worlds are converging on this Ethereum IPO thing. So it's very at the center of a lot of themes. Crypto. Another crypto stock that's super interesting is Ethereum. It just jumped over this breakout level, and I'm calling it a stock. It's an ETF. It's I guess you could call it an Ethereum treasury, although it just tracks Ethereum. And Ethereum just went over $4,000. So we can see that right here on the futures. This actually moved a little bit more in after hours, which we can see over here. Big move since about close of market, 4 p.m. It's up all the way to almost 4,200, which is pretty incredible up here. Okay, so ETH on Monday, this thing is probably going to move. This is not financial advice. I'm just saying I gave you a couple reasons why. Past couple months, it's been on a tear. This is just this month alone, July, and into early August, it's up 60%. So, yeah, ETH. You can also do ETH, although I wouldn't really get too complicated with the leverage instruments and the other ETFs. This is pretty much all you need. ETHU, if you just want me to name one for you. Short-term play, high volatility, right? It's Ethereum. You're basically playing crypto here. But when Ethereum goes, this thing obviously does the same thing. Now, Tesla. We weren't sure what was going to happen here in this range, but we have some fundamental news to break it out of the range. So that's why it's good to pay attention to what it's doing on the chart for all of you news heads out here, and pay attention to the news for all you chart heads. So $30 billion pay package approved for Elon to keep him focused on the core business. Whether that will or will not is to be determined, but almost 100 million restricted shares vesting over 2 years if he stays in leadership, which of course, he's Elon, he's Tesla. They are shutting down Dojo, the supercomputing team. Basically getting rid of this AI chip operation and using external partners like NVIDIA, AMD, and that $16 billion deal with Samsung that has been on the radar for a bit. AMD is in a pretty good spot here. I did take a long and stopped out, but who cares about me, right? It's more about where can you find some good risks, maybe off this level. This thing is just coiling over a long period of time. So if you're patient, could be a move. If you prefer something more volatile than AMD, Tesla is your ticker of choice. They did just receive the Texas permit to operate their robotaxi. That was kind of expected, of course. That's why they moved to Texas in the first place, but it's still news. And they're expanding into, SF. They do have some executive, people leaving, lawsuits, of course. Regulatory fights are not going to end, but this is basically the biggest company doing this in the world. So this is all fully expected. They're ready for AI, autonomy, FSD, and the Texas approval to operate robotaxis is a nice little green light for the stock itself. Maybe you want to buy this with a stop around 325 or maybe just above this shelf here around the 320s. That's what I would say about Tesla. Mondays can be good, but if we look specifically at the previous 2 Mondays, which were August 4th and 28th, this is the 4th right here, which was actually a down day, I believe. Let's see if we can find that here. Right here, a little green day, and then the 28th was this day, which was also a little green day. So nothing super special here in terms of Mondays for Tesla. Sometimes people talk about day of the week influencing when they're going to buy stock. I'm just bringing this up because it's a weekend if you happen to be watching this before Monday. So those are 3 stocks: Tesla, Ethereum, ETF. So think about buying Ethereum in a safe package, and then BMNR, the Tom Lee mentioned Ethereum treasury. So you're getting the theme, Ethereum, and of course Tesla because of the Texas news. Take a look at those. Let me know in the comments if you have any stocks you're personally looking at that you want this channel to take a look at, aka me. You guys are awesome, and I will see you next time.